Hi, Aman and David Finlay here from Harco's JK Realty, bringing you regular property market updates. So Dave, this quarter has been a bit challenging compared to last year. What we have seen is the development sales have dropped. Buyers are taking longer to make a decision. The market sentiment is a little bit negative. Economists are predicting 8 to 10% drop. And with all the triple CFA changes, what we have seen is we have to work with buyers a lot more than what we normally do. You have a good mortgage broker to get their lending sorted, to get their building report sorted. And that's how we've been trying to get these deals done. What are you seeing in this market, Dave?
Pretty similar sentiments around the board. We've got over 100 listings live at the moment. We're dealing with hundreds of buyers. What we're finding is that the things that you mentioned there are really starting to hold them up, causing a little bit of, not insecurity, but people aren't quite sure on exactly what they want to do. And they're not being forced to make a decision. So the reason that the days on market extends to such an extent is because the people that want to move and want to buy, they're not really there in the market. But the people that need to buy, need to sell, need to move for whatever reason, they still are. And that's about 50% of the market. And what you'd see both in the Rhine stats and a lot of other statisticians out there are showing a 50% decline in sales. That's because the need buyers are still there, the want buyers are kind of holding off a little bit.
That's what we have seen as well, because you're looking at now the people who were just trying to make a quick buck, all the traders who were just buying to make money, who were not buying to settle, but buying to sell before the settlement to make that quick buck is basically out.
Yeah.
And I personally feel that's pretty good for the market.
Yeah, we want it to be a realistic industry.
Yeah.
We want it to be a realistic market. You're right, the economists are saying anywhere from a 10 to 20% drop. And there's a lot of good reasons for that. Just remember that 20% drop does include, 10% worth of inflation. So whilst it's a 10-20% drop, the actual prices will remain similar, but they won't take into account the inflation where the prices should go up. Really similar to 2016, 2017, introduction of bright line tests, triple CFA, a whole lot of other impacts in the market. This is pre-COVID, the last little downturn we had from that 2016 to 2018, 2019 period. You've got a whole lot off the plans at the moment, a whole lot of development stuff. From my side, when we look at that off the plan stuff, we've got about 8 or 9 different projects we're selling. The buyers there, they're not pressured to make a choice now. They don't have to, because that stock is still going to be there in 3 months. So those buyers aren't pressured to making a choice, which is why they're holding off, and that off the plan stuff is sticking a little bit more. And on my side, from us as a business, we're excited about what is going to happen between kind of that June, July onwards. There's a couple of really good things that are going to happen. Triple CFA is going to be relaxed. You've got the new zoning coming out, both that's just been released now, both the THAB sites around certain town centres, and then you've got the new one, MDRS, coming out in August. I think that would be the ideal time to sell, kind of moving into that time period. As long as you're buying and selling in the same market, doesn't matter. Only thing to watch out for is next year election. Market really slows for a couple of months either side of that. But hey, you've still got a year away from that. Probably 2 years of this would be the average in New Zealand before we get a hit up again in 2024.
But do you not think it's a pretty good time to buy, because there's no competition, the houses are still the same, the number of houses have increased, so you do have a lot more options?
The end of this year is going to be a little bit of an influx. I think that's probably the best time where vendors are going to get a little bit more money, but again, doesn't make a difference if you're buying and selling in the same market. If you're a buyer right now, jeepers, you've got more than enough stock to choose from. You've got less competition in the market, and supply and demand has just changed. And that's a great thing for the buyers out there. A lot of people are kind of talking negatively on the developer side of things. Look, Auckland needs new houses. It's as simple as that. We really do. And if you look at the rest of the world, we're extremely spoiled here in this country. Everyone wants the quarter-acre dream. It doesn't exist overseas. You're coming in here, you're buying a 2-beddy house that's adjoined to 8 other properties. Kiwis are looking at it going, this is turning to crap and too much intensification. Realistically, those people that are moving into them, they were living in London or overseas, Southeast Asia, all the rest of it. They were living in a 40 square metre apartment with 3 people. So I think that what we're doing is needed. I think that the market's going to pick up. I think that triple CFA relaxing, unitary plan change end of this year, net migration, and there'll be a couple out to Australia, but that's okay. I think there's some really good signs for the market. I don't see a massive boom, but I also, 20% decrease like the experts are saying, too much, even taking inflation into account in those. I think it's going to be a reasonably stagnant, settled year or two, and then.
And what would you say to the owners who who are living near these town centers, and we've just got this information a couple of days ago that their zoning will be changed. So town centers and local centers, 200 to 400 meters, they will be changed to THEP zone. What would you think of that, or what would you say to those owners?
Huge opportunity. I think the fear there for a lot of these owners is you've got to make sure you're dealing with the right person. You really need to understand what you're talking about, because the developers, let's be honest, they're absolutely spoiled for choice at the moment. Not only are they able to buy your property, they're able to buy the traders' properties, the other people that have got resource consent building consent, RCPC. They're selling, so the developers have got just way too many options. So the developers are only working with people that can actually show them what the opportunity is, spend a bit more time talking about it, because they're not going to sit at home and look at Trade Me and go through 100, 200 listings. They're going to want to speak to an expert and go through it. So make sure that the person that you're speaking to, test them on what that actually means. What does THEP mean? What does the change mean? What came out in the beginning of March? Because everyone should know that, and I know that you know it. So speak to the experts, because otherwise the developers, they're there to make money, right? They're there to be doing, so if they can have an educated conversation, everyone can make money. It's win-win.
What we've got here in Team Aman and Joe is basically we've got 6 projects right now running. Townhouses anywhere from 5 to 20. And what we are seeing is at least 30% of our listings are now townhouses. Do you think townhouses will be the next thing to buy, or next product which will be everywhere? Do you think it will be 30%, 35, 40% of the market?
Yeah, so new houses were 20%, 15% of the market last year, but this year it's going to double. So it'll be 25, 30% at least will be townhouses or new builds. Half of that will be off the plans, half of that will be at completion. And the developers, remember, they need to sell it in order to get funding to go through and finish the project. So there'll be some good opportunities there. You can buy now, you can play the capital gains in the long run without having to pay and to hold the full mortgage on it. And you know that you get your money back if the project falls over. We're not having many projects fall over. There may be a couple that will.
In fact, we have had any projects fall.
Yeah, no
We
projects.
recently had an interview with stuff.co.nz, and we mentioned we have never had a developer not settle. So that's
Yeah,
That's
and
pretty
that's where we try and base ourselves on real developers, not the one-off developers. But yeah, the market is going to be a lot more of the new build stuff, a lot more of the townhouses. And I think that's fine. As long as the build quality is decent, as long as people aren't skipping out on some of the stuff. Yeah, material shortages, increase in prices, developers are going to struggle a little bit more. But it is what it is. They're still making a margin. There's not anywhere else in the world you can do a development and make 25, 30% margin. So developers should still be reasonably confident in what they're doing. Those houses, they'll always be there. They'll always be needed.
With those profit margins, do you think you will see a lot of internationally money coming in here?
Yeah, we always have got a lot of international money. I don't think it's as much as everyone thinks. You know, there's some big money coming in from China, Australia, America, Singapore. That'll always be there because these guys want to invest in property and development. It's a real opportunity for them. But they're all Kiwi companies doing it. You know, government have made sure that it's a Kiwi company that's doing it, so the profits are trying to be kept onshore. Are they all? Hey, I'm not going to comment on that, but risky. But yeah, still good opportunity for those guys to invest in the country.
So basically, we've got start of financial year now. What do you think the next financial year looks like in terms of sales, in terms of real estate?
For us as a business, I think it's going to be stagnant in terms of the pricing. I think that the drop that everyone's talking about will just be countered by inflation. So what would have been 6% inflation if the prices stay the same is technically a 6% drop in price. So I think that that's where we're going to be. Stagnant market, prices are going to remain the same. Buyers will start to get more confidence. The stock levels will come to a little bit more of a normal level. I don't see a big spike in prices, just like I don't see a big drop in prices.
And so basically, what would you say to a vendor who's looking to sell now? Would you say they should hold for another couple of months, or would you say they should sell right now?
I don't think there's a difference. I think if you sell now, then you've got a whole lot of options to buy while the stock is high. If you can sell now and you're buying and selling in the same market, I think it's a great opportunity. I think if you're going to wait 2-3 months, I don't think it makes a difference. I think you'd be wanting to buy when there's more stock right now than in a couple of months when there's more competition on the buying side of it. Price isn't going to really change. I would, waiting 2-3 months won't make a difference.
So you're still pretty positive about the market. You still think we're in a really good market in Auckland. We will always have price. We'll always get the price increase here. There will be capital gains. So anyone who buys and hold will always make money.
Yep,
Right?
100%. Just don't be trying to make money in 6 months. Don't be trying to make money in 6 months in this. You know, if it's too good to be true or it's a quick buck, it's normally something wrong with it on the other side. If you're going to buy and legitimately hold long term, you're absolutely fine.
All right. Well, thanks a lot for your time, Dave.
Thanks for the time. Awesome update. Keen to speak to anyone out there. If you guys have heard anything you like, please get in touch. If you're looking to sell, if you're looking to buy, even if you just want to talk about the market, you can tell we're quite passionate about it. We love it. So give us a call anytime. Happy just to chat.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for watching.
Cheers.